Hello and welcome to the Gunnar Vibe. Thanks, Varun. We had a game today with Brighton at home at the Emirates. Ended 1-1. What was your initial reaction?
Disappointing. That's my initial reaction um, early in the season, but I feel 2 points dropped at home rather than 1 point gained, just because, especially it's a home game. Even with the red card, I would have loved to see us close the game out somehow just to get the result, but
Yeah,
unfortunately couldn't happen today.
yeah. Uh, Arteta started with what I thought was a sensible lineup. We started Timber on left, Trossard, who needed that chance. So he had scored last time, so he needed that start. So, any surprise that you had as far as starting lineup is concerned?
No surprises. I think he just gave Trossard the nod just because of his Villa goal, and I think also since he played against Brighton, sometimes you play your ex-players, against their old clubs just because, they always try to get a little bit more from their tank. So I think no real surprises. Starting lineup was as strong as it could be, and the Trossard switch was, I think, like expected.
Yeah, I think we started pretty brightly as well. We had a couple of chances. I think Saka had one, which I think a couple of them which he's hit straight at the keeper. If it had just been either side, it would have been an easy goal. But after a length of position which was pretty much squandered and both sides were pretty scrappy, I thought, after the Miller injury. Long ball gave the goal. Great pass. First of all, great duel by Saka to get the ball from
Yeah,
Lewis Dunk and then pass to Havertz and great goal. At that point, it seemed like Arsenal were in the ascendancy. There was good chances that even um, I think Trossard created, which Odegaard had it straight to the keeper.
yeah,
And how did you feel about the first half? What was your
yeah. I
initial
think
reaction?
you covered it well. I mean, we had a lot of chances first half as well as second half, but most of the attempts were directly to the keeper. Not sure what was going on there, but we could have, when we were in the ascendancy, we could have put the game to bed, even before the red card drama. But I think we just didn't. We weren't just clinical enough. Game was slow. I mean, like after a while, and I think you could sense it even from the crowd being just 1-0. I think as we usually are never comfortable, and especially in home games, we could sense that nervousness from the pitch went to the crowd and then kind of was feeding off onto the team as well. And the crowd was again just sensing something uncomfortable, and unfortunately, that's exactly what happened in the second half. We
Yeah,
we couldn't put the game to bed in the first half when we could have.
yeah. I mean, after the first goal, I don't think there was too many options that
Hmm.
we had. We didn't have any option in the bench as far as attacking players are concerned, except for Martinelli and all. Then there was three kids in the bench, which is unfortunate because of some injuries and etc. But
Yep.
second half started. I think we were still very bright. We created some chances which didn't really end up with anything. I think there was one chance which Rice and Timber
Timber created that was a great
created,
opportunity.
uh,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that was put over the bar. But let's talk about the red card itself. The first yellow card that Rice had, I think there was no complaints about it. He missed control the ball and he went uh, diving in it. Although it was minimal contact, it was warranted yellow card. But what did you
Correct.
feel about the second yellow card?
Second yellow card, very anticlimactic. I don't think it was. I mean, the kick actually on Rice was rather more of a yellow card than the flick of the ball that Rice had. I didn't understand the reasoning. I mean, it was not a great yellow card to begin with. I don't think it deserved a yellow card. And like second of all, becoming the two yellows equals a red. Um, Poor refereeing. I don't know. I felt that it was unnecessary, which kind of put the game completely in jeopardy after that. So,
Yeah.
and Rice, a player again, never had a red card in his life before, and he was shocked as all of us here. So,
Mm.
um, the first one was definitely a yellow card. That's fine, but I don't think the second one was
Yeah.
because he hadn't committed any other fouls after that, and like that was literally his first scuffle with the Brighton players in the second half. So should the referee given him another chance? Because usually after the first yellow, referees usually give at least a couple of chances before popping out the second yellow. But not sure what triggered the second yellow immediately, and that was kind of like the game changer for us today.
Yeah. What the commentator said was you put the ball away from uh, having the quick free kick that the Brighton player was trying to get, which I think was pretty much BS
It's a
because
very soft, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, how did sometimes the commentators, how do they even make up that thing? He whacked the ball, and he inadvertently touched the ball. It's not that he kicked it and
Mm,
it was taken off. Of course, he just walked past the ball, and then the ball hit his feet and it went away. And they are saying that he he took the ball away from the quick free kick.
mm.
Uh, but is that really deserving of a yellow? I don't think so. It could have just been re-awarded.
I mean, if you look at technicalities, if you are kicking the ball away from another opposition trying to get a quick free kick, technically it is a yellow card. But like you
Yeah,
said, it was just a flick, and even
yeah,
then, it was a moving ball. So you
correct.
cannot technically be taking a free kick on a moving ball. So
Exactly.
yeah, it was a very soft yellow, very
Yes.
important red at that time. Plus, at the same time, if you remember, Pedro also kicked the ball in the first half. Brighton player, and that didn't get any yellow cards at all. Um, we have a history with this referee. If you remember the two yellow card in quick session that he gave to Martinelli to book him red card a couple of seasons back. Same with Tomiyasu at Crystal Palace, I believe. Two yellow cards and he booked him red card. So there is some history behind him. So I don't know if there is anything malicious, but it just felt a really poor uh, game overall by the referee. But what did you think about the aftermath, the way Arsenal played and Brighton's goal?
Yeah, I think you correctly pointed out the history of that referee giving those two quick yellows to three of our players, and I think not sure like what the FA is doing. Like, I mean that two quick yellows in few seconds every single time. Not sure what they're up to, but I guess even after the red card, I mean, if you take the politics out of it, we were having opportunities to wrap the
Hmm.
game up, and I don't think we took those chances, unfortunately. So that's the situation.
Yeah. What do
Yeah,
you think about the substitution itself? Do you think Arteta could have substituted sooner so that we didn't concede?
I think that could have been done sooner. But again, I think you mentioned as you mentioned, we didn't have many options. Again, we have botched the window, and we could have. I at least feel like we shouldn't have at least let go of Nelson. I mean, if we could keep still more people on the bench. Again, Jesus is out as usually he is always out, and if you let go of Nelson as well, who's an experience, from the bench, and we had Sterling, but again, I don't think he was ready for the game. Merino being out, we all almost didn't have anybody else except for Martinelli.
Mhm.
So that was like our only single option. And then the other unfortunate thing was Odegaard. went out as well, and then also Timber went out. I hope that their injuries are not long term, but today was just a bad day in the office, and we were honestly we were lucky to stick around with a 1-1 because we could have lost the game, honestly.
Mhm.
So I we will see how Arteta assesses this whole game.
Yeah. Well, that's that game. Well, guys, if you like what we have been discussing, please like and subscribe. Let's talk about the transfer itself. If you have to rate um, by 10, what would you rate the transfer window?
The whole window. I mean, I feel we got uh, all the so like I'm happy with the incomings, but the only thing I'm not happy is the amount of outgoings we've had. We've not replaced them equally. We've just let go of more people than we brought back in, and I think that's concerning because yes, we may have improved the quality on a couple of incomings, but we've lost the quantity again, and I think that quantity
Mm,
is more important across this long season with more Champions League games. I honestly don't know if we have the numbers to last the distance, and I feel like we have not addressed the same things season over season, and I don't know how we expect it to continue like that because again, we're just putting too much pressure on the first 11, and there is a breaking point for Odegaard and like all these guys who play almost 60-65 plus games. They cannot keep performing at that level towards the business end of the season, and that's where we usually let go of our season. And unfortunately, we have again put ourselves in the same situation this season. So um, I honestly feel it's like a 6 or a 7. I wouldn't like rate it more than that because again we let go of Nketiah, but we didn't get anyone in. So
mm,
if you were not planning to get any striker in, then we shouldn't have let go of Nketiah. At least we would have had the numbers. Um, And I think Sterling was just a last minute deal, just paper over the cracks because then they let go of Nelson as well. So
mm,
I feel like Merino and Calafiori were great incomings, but then again we screwed up the keeper situation. We could have just kept Karl Hein, and we could have just kept those two keepers. But then we ended up letting everyone else go, and then last minute they got Neto.
mm,
So I felt like those last two loan signings were just um, total 11th hour game by
mm,
Edu and Arteta. Not sure what they're up to, but I think the window could have been better if we would have. My personal opinion, I want a big striker like a Solanke who could have just added goals when we couldn't get any. Like for example, today's situation. So we didn't sign that striker. We don't have options on the bench, and I think that's gonna that's gonna be hard for us. I feel this season.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I didn't see many strikers that we could have. We did go for Sesko, if you remember the start of the
Yeah.
window, and he wanted to stay, which is sensible. I
Yeah.
think we may go back to uh, Red Bull next year to sign Sesko because he's a kind of profile that I feel will fit with Arsenal because he can play across um, all positions.
Yeah.
Um with regards to Nelson, I heard that he pushed for the deal. We didn't want to sell, especially at the last moment, and that's pretty
Yeah.
much what kicked the interest towards uh,
Sterling.
Sterling. And yeah, you said you pretty much put the nail on the head. It is. It was opportunistic. I think Sterling sign. If you compare Sterling to Nelson, he's definitely better.
Yeah.
However, if he had kept hold of Nelson, today we would have had used it.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
but it also depends on the circumstance. If it
Yeah.
would have been a red card, I think Arteta would have still gone with Martinelli as the attacking options and thrown defenders to defend the goal. I
Yeah.
don't think anything as far as today's substitutions would have changed if we had got a striker, if we had got
Yeah. I
a
think
midfielder. But to your point, if there was a striker in that market who was really clinical, you could have buried some of the chances.
exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
we would have signed it. I still don't see that striker in the market. The only one that I could have, I would have said, let's go and buy it is the Gyökeres
Yeah,
deal, but
Bucharest.
I think he was a little too pricey for this window.
Yeah. No, I mean Gyökeres, Solanke, Sesko. I mean there are options. It's just that we have to go on the pursuit, and um, Solanke just moved to Spurs because they approached him. He wanted to get a move, and I feel Solanke's profile would have been good just because of the experience in the Premier League. But again, what is done is done. We can't control the past, and hopefully the problem is not that we don't have a striker. Yes, we do have a striker, but he's always injured. That's the
Mm,
problem. And then Jesus is not a 30-goal striker. I don't think we are going to win the league if we don't have a 30-goal striker. This is my take. Early in the season, we'll see if I'm proven wrong. So be it. I'll be happy.
mm,
But I feel these are the situations where we need a goal and we don't get a goal, and we drop points. And early in the season, but home game, think we shouldn't be dropping points. Even with the red card, I think we had 3 or 4 opportunities from Saka and Havertz. One of them could have been buried, hopefully, and we should have still somehow dug up and won the game, but it didn't happen today. So, and I think after the red card, I think we were all over the pitch.
mm,
We couldn't control the game. They had 63% possession. They were dominating the possession, and then our defenders actually kind of dug us out of the game today and like kept it to 1-1.
mm.
But
It's surprising. I mean, I know you're talking about missed chances and all, but in your opinion, who was the man of the match for Arsenal?
it's a tricky answer. I mean, they were in the ascendancy in the second half. I know João Pedro was given the man of the match,
Mm,
overall. But I feel Raya for me, could have been man of the match because again, if he didn't make that save, we would have been done.
mm. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, last game also Raya pretty much kept us in the game. The first two games has been really good by Raya. I also feel like Raya would have been my man of the match. Uh, Despite the missed chances, I feel Havertz was close as well. He scored the goal. He was pretty much all over the pitch. Like he was defending. He was trying to uh, get balls for Saka to score. That was really good break that he had. Um, yeah, it's probably a good toss up between Havertz and Raya. Maybe Raya should get the nod if we have to give him a man of the match. But yeah, let's leave it at that. I know you're at your friend's place, so enjoy your time. Enjoy the long weekend. Hope you get to spend some time with family. But we'll see. It's going to be a couple of weeks break as the teams players go for their international breaks. But hopefully, everyone comes back sound with no injuries. Obviously, we won't have Rice in the North London derby next. Maybe we'll see some more changes when we get to that game. But
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
right.
We'll keep it positive, but again, we need to address the elephant in the room. And when we are not doing well, we also need to call out, what went wrong. So we
Mhm.
can, we can't sugarcoat it all the time. Just being we are as fans, we are always supportive, but we need to point out, what needs to be addressed, and hopefully we address it soon. So
Yeah.
we'll leave it at that, and we'll catch up again after the Tottenham game.
Thanks, Varun.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good day. Take care.
Have a good day. Take care. Bye
Bye.
bye.